Popular Jews burst into tears in the early hour of today as everywhere burst. Moment Plo Lumumba sat them down and he lectured them based on the atrocities they've committed in different African countries. What they've taught people that is not even existing in the Bible. What they are doing presently that is not even existing. And what they are doing to the people in Nigeria and in Africa that is not even existing in the scripture. Plo Lumumba finally bring it out and he finally show it to them. Tear flows moment is cool Nigeria GOs and African GOs, and it did not stop there. He included the politicians, the atrocities that they are using religions to be committing with the African GOs and all of that. Just stay connected to the end of this video. I'm going to be playing you everything. You will hear everything yourself in video format. So if you can share this video, ensure you share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG Watch TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, ensure you click the registration button appearing on your video screen. At the same time as you're clicking it, click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. Plo Lumumba is very popular in Africa and even in Nigeria. He has been giving Nigerian politicians a tough time. He was the one that made speech and disgraced Bola Ahmed Tinubu few days ago publicly, and Nigerian politicians were seated there, and when he made jest of Tinubu, all African leaders that were seated there were laughing. They were making mockery of Nigerian politicians and all of that because their disgrace finally came that very day. Now, he has finally come for Nigerian GOs. He has finally come for them. He sat them down based on what they have used the Bible to do, based on the things that the Nigerian GOs have used the Bible, and even African GOs, what they have used the Bible to collect from the people. He have already sat them down and schooled them. He opened their eyes, he opened their brain to all these atrocities that they've committed in the Christendom. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. Popular GOs burst into tears in the early hour of the moment this man have not even concluded his speech. Plo Lumumba was still talking. He have not concluded his speech when GOs burst into tears because what this man said and the opinion he gave at the end of the video shocked a lot of people. So if you can share this video, ensure you share it because I'm going to be playing you everything in video form. You see it yourself. And if you cannot share the video as you're watching it, just do it to like it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. You know, Plo Lumumba is well known that he always come out to call a spade a spade. Anything deceit, he will always exclude himself from it. So this man have always been there in Africa, standing for Africa and standing for a lot of countries in Africa, just because he never want to have anything to do with all these European and American stores and all of that, because he believed that they colonized Africa, and the colonization that they colonized Africa, they didn't stop there. They enslaved Africa, and they still stop there. They are still enslaving Africa indirectly till now, even after independence. Now the Bible is one of the major weapons that they use to colonize Africans, more especially Nigeria. They have used the Bible to colonize them. They have used the Bible to disempower them. They have used the Bible to turn their brain upside down, and to the extent that Africans do not know what they're doing again. Now Nigerian GOs then came after all these things that the European and the British and all of them have done. Nigerian GOs still come and they are still using the same Bible as a weapon. And a lot of Nigerians today, due to the fact that they have used the Bible to colonize them, even when you come out to tell them the truth regarding what is in the Bible, they will say tell you that no, this is not what is in the Bible. This is what our GOs tell us. It is what their GOs tell them that they believe. It is what their GOs tell them that they do. They don't follow the scripture. And the atrocities that the Jews were committing with this religion, it didn't stop there. It have hands with the politicians. So it is interwoven. You can imagine Nigerian politicians spending 90 billion for Hajj, which is Muslim festival and all of that, where they escort Muslims to Saudi Arabia and all of that. They used 90 billion. That was the money that Tinubu allocated a few days ago. Now tell me, if people want to go to Jerusalem too, they allocate money for them to go to Jerusalem. But people can't go to Jerusalem now just because of Israel, Gaza and Iran saga that is ongoing, the war thing and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Now for Nigerian politicians should be using money that is made for the public to be sponsoring religious people to different countries in the world. Where on earth is this happening if not for Nigeria? Now Plo Lumumba have addressed everything. Politics did not have anything to do with religion, and religion did not have anything to do with politics. They burst into tears the moment this man was talking in this very video, because they never expected that he can touch them in this way. Nigerian GOs that have been doing like as if they are the one that is the alpha and omega in Nigeria. You know, whatever they say is what God says. So it is not even a single person that can challenge them. But this man come all the way from his country to come and challenge what they are doing. Now, what concerns Tinubu government with people that are going to different countries just for their religious purpose? Can't they go with their own personal money when there's no employment in the country, when there's high in price of commodity of goods, when people are going hungry? You are still using the people's money to sponsor some certain people to different countries in the world just for their religious purpose. What concerns the government with religion? Have they in any way used money to sponsor traditional religion? This country is having three religions. We have the Christian religion, we have the Muslim, and we have the traditional. Are they not neglected the traditional? Are they not biased? Yes, I'm not a traditionalist, and Plo Lumumba is not a traditionalist, but why is the government so involved in religion? Just because they are using the pastors as weapons for their own personal election stuff. They are using the pastors to colonize the mind of the people so that the people can be disempowered. Just stay connected to the end of this video. You will hear what Plo Lumumba said. They shed tears, it will shocktalize you. The GOs that you did not expect that can shed tears, all of them cry. Just stay, you will see the video. But first of all, I'm going to be playing you the video of Pastor ADEBOYE that I released few days ago that I got a lot of people talking. That made Plo Lumumba to see all this thing. Just stay connected. If you can share this video, ensure you share it. And if you can't share it, just like it as I'm watching it.
4 of the real billionaires in Nigeria were in this family. And pride came because they were, the tithe that was coming to the main church through this family was hefty. By that definition, of the time. All of a sudden, a handful of the big men, not the ones I mentioned, wrote to me and said, every month you must give to us an account of how you are spending our tithes. I said, okay. What they're asking for is all right. They're simply asking for transparency, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I say, however, I have gone through the Bible. I have not found a place where God spoke to Moses and said, every month you must give an account of the tithe of the children of Israel to them. So I said, all right, I will do 2 things. Number 1, I will prepare a detailed account of how your money is spent, including if we buy a bottle of Coke for first-timers. I will put it in a file. And every month, when you people come for the Holy Ghost service, that file will be on the table. I won't give it to you. I will put it on the table. Anyone who wants to see can go and read. But make sure you wait till I have left the room. Because I know everything that we are doing on earth is being recorded in heaven. I don't want my God to say, you are the one who handed it to them and you were there when they were reading. And I did that. Number 2, I told the treasurer, from now on, any tithe that comes from this family, don't add it to the rest. Put it aside. Let me find out if the God who sent me can run his church without these people's contribution. I'm talking to you now like father and special children. Nobody had ever had this one from me before. So for 2 years, how many years? 2 solid years. Every kobo that came from this family was kept in a separate account. Let me just find out if God is bigger than the biggest, richer than the richest. It was when Ababa came. So you can check all these stories, the people involved are alive. Professor Ababa came from Ibadan. I sent him here. When I say here, we were only one branch then, just the family. And then, after he's been in the church for some months, he came to me. He said, the people are complaining. The people you asked me to go and join, they are complaining. What's the complaint? They said things are not going well. And they have found out that they offended me. That's why contracts were being cancelled, all manners of things were happening. I said, I'm not quarreling. And God knew. I wasn't quarreling. I just ignored.
We must never forget that over 12 million Africans were taken to the Caribbean, taken to Europe and America. We must never forget that. We must never forget that in Southern Africa, the apartheid regime was underwritten through verses from the Bible by the Dutch Reformed Church. We must never forget that. Upon a theology based in the Bible. Fact. We must never forget that the Roman Catholic Church was involved in slavery, and they have apologized for it. We must never forget that the Church of England was involved in slavery, and they have apologized for it using the Bible. Theology. Slaves, obey your masters like you obey Christ. In the Bible. Not revised, you go and read it. There is a verse like that. So when we talk about theology and African problems, we must remember that the effects of slavery are alive and with us today. When slavery was gone, it is Christians again, William Wilberforce. And I can, through history, see him standing in the House of Commons saying that slavery should be abolished, but that Africans should not be freed even when slavery is abolished and slave trade. After slavery, colonization came. And as I speak to you, Europeans sat in Berlin in 1884 and 1885 and divided Africa into spheres of influence. Africa was a hunting ground, divided amongst the British, the Italians, the Dutch, the French, the Belgians, the Germans. And today we are in this assembly. I'm using English language which was imposed on us. And those of you who come from English-speaking countries, you referred to as Anglophone. Those of you who come from French-speaking countries, you are referred to as Lusophone, as Francophone. And those from Portuguese are referred to as Lusophone. Soon there'll be Sinophone. We don't speak Yoruba. I'm not speaking Yoruba. I'm not speaking Kiswahili. There is no Kiswahili interpreter here. There are only French and Portuguese and English. Part of the African problem. We are confused. When my friend resisted their being called a perfect Frenchman, I could understand his anger. Because the colonial project was a dehumanizing and humiliating process. And religion and theology were at the heart of it. That is why when the European colonizer, we used to be taught in school that the flag followed the cross. I went to Zanzibar, and a young man was taking me through the dungeons, and he showed me there was the school where they taught Africans that they may use them in their labor. There is the church that they touch their spirit, that they may be spiritually confused. And there is the hostel where they treated them that they may use them as labor. I'd never heard such interpretation. That is why when theology came, we were told that in order to be a Christian, you must be John or James or Joel. You cannot be Taiwo, no. That is not a Christian name. Christian name must be John, Joseph. Who said it? Whose theology is it? Who said that in order to be a Christian, you must be John? Who said it? That is jaundiced theology. That is racist theology. Because when you want to change a person, you give him your name. Those of you who have watched Roots will know this. Alex Haley's Roots. You capture Kunta Kinte, and in order to dehumanize him, you call him Toby. Colonization is part of the problem that affects Africa. Because after colonization ended, we have another thing called neo-colonization. And it is alive and well. That thing called neo-colonization is alive and well. And if you doubted whether it's alive and well, I want you to see what is happening in Guinea-Conakry. I want you to see what is happening in Niger. I want you to see what is happening in Burkina Faso. I want you to see what is happening in Chad. And I want you to see the arrogance of the French president when he says, my ambassador shall not leave, my bases shall not be removed. At least yesterday he capitulated. Today, I tell Africans, because of neo-colonization, I'll come to what I think theology can do. Today in Africa, here in Nairobi, Kenya, Danida, GIZ, there is no shortage of them, and Kwame was right again. The colonialist comes under different guises, but they kill your spirit to survive. So Africa is bedeviled by all these things. And until the scale falls from our eyes and the wax melts from our ears, we will not go anywhere. So what can you do amidst all these things? What can religion do? What can theological schools do? Can they do anything that is useful? Can they change people's lives? Can they empower people? The Bible can be disempowering, and the Bible can also be empowering. You know, several years ago, when my child was young and wanted to be baptized, I went for preparation. She had not attained the age of majority. She was 1. And my provost at the All Saints Cathedral asked me whether I believed in child baptism. I said, I don't. It's not biblical. There is nowhere in the Bible where anybody was baptized as a child. And if it was biblical, Christ would have been baptized as a child. Then he said, why do you bring your child? I said, because I know you people. When my child comes here as an adult, you'll ask her, why were you not baptized? So she got baptized, but I said it has no biblical basis completely. This is man-made. Then they say, but they used to dedicate the children. I say that was Jewish tradition. Christianity has roots in Judaism, but it's not Judaism. So the Bible can be misinterpreted. Another time, I'm invited to speak to politicians here in Kenya. And when they have read, they say that all leadership comes from God. I said, no, it's not true. There's so many crooks in leadership in Africa and elsewhere, they could not possibly be coming from God. Then they say, but it's biblical. I said, the book of Romans was written by Paul in the year 1577 to 1508 AD, 57 AD, 58, when he was going to Rome on trial. And some of the things are not inspired. They were informed by the politics of the day. He was softening the rulers in Rome, but it did not help him. When he arrived there, he was arrested, detained, and he was executed. So it is not true that all these things are inspired. And if you read Rome and the book of Romans historically, you'll see that there are things that are Paul's own opinion. And you who are theologians may debate about it. I'm giving you these because I'm now coming to the theology of it. You may now know that there is a committee that is doing the rounds in Kenya, which is collecting views about religion and how religion should be regulated because of an incident called Shakahola. I appeared before them. And during my presentation, I made this statement, and the chairman almost jumped out of his seat. I said that the Nicene Creed was a political settlement. He said, that is heretical. He must have said that from his body language. And I said it was political. Then I said, the person said, why? When in 324 AD they invited the 100 or so many bishops in Nicaea, only 80 attended. You theologians know. And how the Nicene Creed then came about, that the Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son, was a battle between Arian and Athanasius. And Athanasius won the day. And even now, I told him, in the Eastern Orthodox, the phylloky is removed. And you don't say the Spirit proceeds from the Son. It says proceeds from the Father only. It was a political settlement. Then he said, but why are you saying this? I told him, because I'm a Christian of Berea. The Christian of Berea questions. And Paul is him who says in Acts of the Apostle that why he liked the Bereans, when the gospel has been preached to them, they went home and asked, we heard you saying all these things. We are fact-checking you. We are fact-checking you. Because we now have a theology in Africa particularly, and in the world, where preachers of the gospel are busy writing little explanatory books about the Bible, and their congregation reads those books rather than the Bible. The joy of many preachers today is that I've written 20 books. Read my books, and they don't say buy my books. They say donate. Deception. Just be right. Say buy my books. And if you ask people whether they have read the Bible, many have not. I did a challenge. I'll not do it here because some of you will fail. I told in a congregation, I want you to recite to me the Lord's Prayer without referring to any book. Out of 10, only 2. Then I said, I want you to tell me the 10 commandments in the order in which they were given. Only 2. Only 2. But say what the pastor said in his book about the last days, they can memorize everything. In the last days, Matthew 24:24, there shall be many Christs, and they shall mislead many, even the very elect. So the question is, with all these problems facing Africa, education, health, bad governance, and all these things, in Africa we have some of the lowest quality politicians. African countries say that they are democratic, they are kakistocratic. And kakistocracy is a government of the very worst. You are led by your very worst. That is kakistocracy. If you combine that with kleptocracy, which is a government of thieves, then you can see why Africa continued to punch below her weight. In all areas, we continue to do so. So that many Africans have now surrendered. What they are remaining with is prayer and fasting. Africans pray for what they can work for. That is not the divine instruction. Paul was still making tents. We must continue working. Faith and work. We have converted God into an operator of a lottery and a casino. I'm now trying to suggest to you that theology can be useful, but theology must be decolonized. If we don't decolonize theology, then we will continue to believe that the theology handed down to us is what is going to solve our problems. And permit me to be a little bit unsettling. The time is now for theological schools to be the salt in the society, to be the light. Otherwise, you are just but an ivory tower who is separated from the congregation by the pulpit. Sometimes when you are in the pulpit, do you ever imagine how distant you are from your congregation?
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear what Plo Lumumba said in this very video. But before I come to what Plo Lumumba said, listen to what Pastor ADEBOYE said. You know, he have released that video before, but the video is circulating online again this day, you know, regarding what is going on, the fight that is going on between men of God and tithes and all of that. You know, he was narrating in this very video. He said 4 billionaires in his church came and they were asking how he used to spend their tithes and all of that, that they want to be seen account of it. I don't really know, maybe there's something bad in that. When I'm paying my money to somewhere, they add him money that I'm earning, the money I'm sweating for, I'm paying to somewhere in the name of religion, and at the end of the day, I didn't see account of how they spending the money. I didn't see it, and I'm demanding for accountability. Now, I didn't think there's anything bad in that, but listening to what Pastor ADEBOYE said in this place, he just buttressed the point to his congregation that at the end of the day, he didn't release it to them directly, that he released it to them indirectly because he did not want God to query them. Do you think God can query you as a pastor just because of the fact that the people demanded for how their tithe is going and all of that? This is their hard-earned money. For them to demand the account of how you're spending it as a ministry, I don't think there's something bad. You can drop your opinion in the comment section on this video. Now, ADEBOYE said that after they demanded for it, he began to iron it out. He separated it from other people's tithe, and at the end of the day, he put it in where they can access it, and they will access it. And he did it for 2 years and all of that. But at the end of the day, the work of these 4 billionaires began to tremble and all of that. Their work wasn't working well, and they make calls to him that no, they have offended him. All of that. That was what he said in this very video. Do you think God can punish you for trying to make clarity on how they spend your money and all of that? Do you think God can punish you? God can never punish you. It's not in the Bible like that, because it made reference to the Bible that in the Bible that he went through the Bible the moment they demanded for their tithe. That he went through the Bible that, oh, where is the place in the Bible where people demanded for how they spend their tithe? Did the people demanded for Moses how Moses used their tithe and all of that? He said they never found it in the Bible. But don't forget, in the Bible, when people give their tithe, many of them did not give it as money. They give it as fruit. Their farm product. That's what they give out. And the same farm product they give out, they use it among themselves. They give it to their leader Moses, and Moses used it for them. He used it and he shared back to them. They eat it. But now in our days in Nigeria and Africa, we don't know what the pastor do with our money. All we just see is they are moving Rolls Royce on different convoys and all of that. Is that not what they're using our money for? This is my own opinion. You can drop your opinion in the comment section on this video. You can enlighten us on what the pastors are using the money for. Now listen to what Plo Lumumba said. Plo Lumumba made mention of the fact that it was the European and the British that colonized Africa, and you know, they were the one that enslaved our forefathers. They didn't stop there. They still colonized us, and at the end of the day, they were still the one that still introduced this Bible. How sure are you that what they put in the Bible there is absolutely 100% correct? Because the original Bible is in the Roman Catholic Church. They never want to release that one. Why is it that it is the one that they extract out for us to be reading? That's the one that they release. Where is the main Bible that was written in Greek? The main Bible that Moses wrote and all of that? The main Bible that consists of a lot of things. Where is it? That's the question we're asking. It's in the Roman Catholic Church. They never want to release it. They don't distribute that one. But the one that was extracted is what they distributing. How are you sure that they did not remove some things from it? And how are you sure that they did not add to it? Now, the biblical account of where Cain got a wife to marry, nobody knows where the story is. Nobody knows where the woman come from. Now, they extracted something and they gave it to Africa. The same people that enslaved Africa, the same people that stole our forefathers and our treasures, they were still the one that still brought the Bible. And we are running after the Bible. A lot of people were killing themselves because of the Bible and all of that. And don't forget, these same people, when they were enslaving African leaders and all of that, when they were enslaving our forefathers, they used the Bible to enslave them. And for those of them that did not want to accept the religion Christianity, they pied them then. They killed them and all of that. That was what they do. Those are the things that happened then. They use Christianity to eliminate and they pie a lot of African people just because they don't want to accept the religion. And it is the same Bible that some people are still using today as weapon. Nigerian politicians, African politicians, they are all using this Bible as weapon to colonize the same Africa. That Bible that you're saying is a spiritual book, but they have turned it to weapon. That is what Plo Lumumba is saying in this very place. It is the same Bible that they will use to threaten you in terms of tithes, that if you do not pay your tithe, you won't go to heaven. Because ADEBOYE mention of it in one of his videos. He said, if you are not paying tithes, you are not going to heaven. Full stop. He did that in one of his pastors' meeting. He was having a meeting with these pastors. He said they should tell their church members once they get to their different branches that if they are not paying tithes, they are not going to heaven. OYEDEPO did this one. He said if you are not paying tithes, things will be worse for you. Now tell me, ADEBOYE, OYEDEPO, they are all reading the same Bible. You can see what they have used religion to cause in Africa. ADEBOYE, OYEDEPO, Komoye, all of them, they are reading the same Bible. They are all friends. But why is it that the doctrine of redeem is different from the doctrine of deeper life? The doctrine of deeper life is different from the doctrine of winners. Why is it that they wear trousers in winners and they didn't wear trousers in redeem? Why is it that they didn't wear trousers in deeper life? Are they not reading the same Bible? This to tell you that what we are practicing in Africa today is a man-made doctrine. Human being did all these things. Now they are enforcing your money out of your pocket in the name of tithe and all of that. And the politicians will be mafiaing money in their different cabinet and all of that. They will be stealing the public fund. And at the end of the day, when the people want to rise against them, this is the politicians that will still go back and make the pastors, the religious leaders, and still tell them that they should preach to their church members to colonize their brain again. That's what they're doing in Africa. And the pastors will come to you on Sunday that violence is not okay. Don't incite violence and all of that. Whatever the politicians are doing, just be watching. Call unto God. Let's pray to God. Things will work. Is it God that will come and settle things in Nigeria or in any African country? That's the question. The politicians are using the religion and the religious leader to colonize and to disempower the people of the country. At the same time, the pastors are using the Bible so that the people do not know what to do again and leave everything to God. I say God is going to come down to come and rescue them. Drop your opinion in the comment section on this video regarding what Plo Lumumba said, as I'm going to dedicate that to for you. And share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you with the for church. All as LAJUPOG watch TV.